For decades, the galaxy remained on edge. Small skirmishes flared between powerful empires, and political games were played in shadowy rooms. But through it all, Earth stayed silent. While others fought for territory or pride, humans watched. They listened. And they waited. Many alien leaders thought Earth was weak, too afraid to pick a side. Others believed humans were just too distant and irrelevant to care. But they were all wrong. On the surface, Earth appeared peaceful. Diplomats smiled in council chambers. Trade ships moved through safe lanes, and human colonies maintained friendly ties with their neighbors. But behind that calm face, Earth was preparing. Hidden research stations orbited distant moons. Fleets ran silent drills in the darkness beyond Neptune. Soldiers trained in harsh virtual environments where failure meant death. Earth was not weak. It was patient. Then came the incident near Jupiter. A small fleet from the Zelkari Combine, a proud and arrogant alien race, entered the edge of the Sol system. They claimed it was a navigation error, but the timing was suspicious. Days before, the Galactic Council had passed a motion to limit Earth's access to shared resources. Earth had said nothing during the vote. No protests, no speeches. Just quiet, observing eyes. When the Zelkari ships crossed into Terran space, the Council expected a warning, maybe even a formal protest. Instead, Earth went dark. Every official Earth channel stopped broadcasting, trade routes shut down, human embassies closed, even Earth's civilian news networks went silent. At first, the galaxy thought it was a system glitch, but when it continued for 3 days, panic began to spread. The last message anyone received from Earth was a simple transmission. Earth will respond when it is ready. The Zelkari ships vanished. No debris, no emergency signals, just gone. Their homeworld demanded answers. The Council demanded explanations. Earth gave neither. Instead, the Human Defense Network quietly pulled all ships from joint operations and left Council space without a word. People started to whisper, "What is Earth doing?" Across the stars, strange things began happening. A research station on the edge of Varkul space reported a brief sensor contact, something huge. But the data was wiped moments later. A pirate group known for raiding human cargo ships was found destroyed, their fleet torn apart as if by invisible weapons. On their main ship, someone found a warning scratched into the hull. "This is your only reminder." Alien empires began to question what Earth was becoming. Was this the same species that once begged for a seat at the Council? The same humans, who were mocked for being too emotional, too wild, too unpredictable. Deep inside a red dwarf system, Captain Yaltor of the Varn Alliance watched the feed from one of his scout drones. He had sent it to observe Earth's outer system, but the feed showed only empty space, then suddenly static, and then a single image appeared for 1 second before the drone shut down. It showed a large black ship, no markings, no lights, no heat signature, just silence. His crew stared in horror. The Council tried to regain control. They called emergency meetings, urged Earth to return to negotiations, and blamed the Zelkari incident on technical failure. But Earth didn't reply. Some Council members pushed for sanctions. Others whispered about war. But no one dared to move first. In quiet corners of the galaxy, people began to say the words they never thought they would say again. Terrans are waking up. A historian named Tavel, from the peaceful planet Onari, wrote a message to his students. Do not forget history. Earth does not move quickly, but when it does, it changes everything. The last time they prepared in silence, they shattered. A war fleet 3 times their size. This time, they have been silent for too long. Outposts across human space showed signs of lockdown. Civilian traffic was redirected. Colonies began building defenses. Old allies received encrypted messages, short and direct. We remember who stood with us. Even those who had never feared Earth now felt something cold in their stomachs. They had pushed too hard, too far, and Earth had not roared back with rage. It had simply gone quiet, and that silence was far more terrifying. The galaxy had always believed war would come from the known aggressors, the Yarnak Raiders, the Kalthar Empire, maybe even the Kriv Dominion. But they were wrong. The last war wouldn't start with a council vote or a massive invasion fleet. It wouldn't start with threats or declarations. The last war wouldn't start until Earth took a stand. And somewhere in the cold black of space, Earth was standing. Not with words, not with warnings, but with ships hidden behind shadows, with minds sharper than steel, and with a memory that stretched far longer than anyone expected. The question was no longer if Earth would move. It was when. The galaxy tried to stay calm, but fear was spreading fast. After Earth went silent and the Zelkari ships disappeared near Jupiter, many governments began to watch human space closely. Still, some believed it was just Earth playing games, testing limits. But then, something much stranger happened. 3 Earth outposts, small but important, went dark. No one knew what happened. No distress calls, no damage reports. They just vanished. The first outpost was located near the edge of the Orion Belt, a science station studying deep space radiation. One day it was active and sending reports. The next day, gone. Patrol ships sent to investigate found nothing. No debris, no signals, no signs of struggle. The second was a mining station on a lonely moon. It vanished the same way. The third was a communications hub. All 3 disappeared within the same week. The Galactic Council began asking questions, but Earth did not reply. Some said pirates were responsible. Others blamed new alien threats. But there was a feeling, quiet and growing, that something else was happening. A few senior council members met in secret. They remembered the warning Earth had sent. Earth will respond when it is ready. Was this the beginning? Human ambassadors were recalled. Earth trade ships stopped appearing in Council space. Human colonies shut down their external communications. Entire space routes went silent. It wasn't just fear, it was a strategy. Earth was isolating itself, cutting off the galaxy. The question was, why? On the planet Velthar, a news network showed a special report. A respected alien analyst stood before a screen showing the timeline of human silence. "This is not retreat," he said. "It is preparation. Earth has not disappeared. Earth is preparing something, and we don't know what." Meanwhile, strange reports came from deep space. A Zalorian cargo freighter flying near a dead sector picked up a strange signal. When they investigated, their ship's systems were hit by a massive power surge. The crew survived, but the ship was dead. Before the lights went out, the captain saw something through the window, something large floating nearby. It looked like a black city in space. No lights, no windows, just a dark shape, watching. Rumors spread fast. Some said Earth had built a ghost fleet, ships that couldn't be seen, couldn't be tracked. Others believed the 3 missing outposts were not destroyed, but hidden, relocated by humans for reasons no one understood. Many began to wonder if humans had developed a new kind of technology, something far beyond what they had ever shown before. In the city of Tharnis, an alien child asked his father, "Why is everyone afraid of Earth now?" The father paused. "Because, son," he said, "we thought they were weak, but maybe we were wrong." Across human colonies, silent movements were taking place. Old war bunkers were reopened. Military reserves were activated. Civilian companies began shifting production to ship parts, armor plating, and weapons. Human space was preparing for war, but there was still no sign of attack, no declaration, no target. On a Council surveillance satellite near the edge of human territory, two alien technicians monitored ship traffic. Everything looked normal, until one of them noticed a dot blinking on the screen. A small human ship appeared from hyperspace, moved silently across the screen, and then vanished again. No signal, no ID, just gone. "Did we see that?" one asked. The other simply replied, "I don't think we were supposed to." Then came the final sign. An old human distress signal, a beacon from centuries ago, was activated in 5 different sectors at the same time. It was a simple code, used during Earth's darkest days. It meant only one thing. Humanity has entered shadow status. No aid, no contact, total lockdown. It hadn't been used in over 200 years. Now it echoed across the stars. Panic hit the Council. Emergency meetings were called. Some wanted to send a peace envoy, others pushed for sanctions or even military preparation, but no one could agree. Every time someone mentioned war, someone else whispered, "What if they're ready?" A respected Council admiral, Grand Strategist Thurene, stood before a map of human space. She circled the empty zones, the vanished outposts, the dark trade routes. "They're not running," she said. "They are reshaping the battlefield. They are preparing to fight a war that we haven't even declared yet." Back on Earth, deep beneath old mountains, the Terran Defense Corps waited for the final go signal. Their job was simple: defend Earth's future. And now their silent protocols were active. They didn't need permission from the Council. They didn't need approval from anyone. Earth had been pushed too far. And still, no official statement came. No ships crossed enemy lines. No attack began. It was as if Earth had simply disappeared. But everyone knew the truth. Earth was not gone. It was watching, listening, waiting, and when it moved, the galaxy would never be the same. The war hadn't started yet, but the silence was the warning. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Every species was nervous, every fleet on high alert. Earth's silence was more terrifying than open threats. Some still hoped that humans were just scared or confused. Others feared something darker, something planned. Then, the message came. It was early morning at the Council's main station orbiting the planet Veskar. Delegates from 100 species had gathered for an emergency session. The hall buzzed with arguments. Some wanted to send a fleet to Earth. Others begged for patience. Then, without warning, every screen in the chamber went black. Lights dimmed. Communication lines froze. Even private links shut down. Security rushed in, unsure of what was happening. Then all screens blinked on again, showing one image, Earth's blue and white sphere, slowly rotating in silence. Then a voice spoke, calm, cold, human. "You started this. We will finish." 6 words. No name, no threat, no emotion. Then the screens went dark again. Communications returned to normal, but no one spoke for a long time. Across the galaxy, the same thing happened. On warships, research bases, marketplaces, even personal devices. For exactly 60 seconds, the same message was received. The words appeared in every language. No one could block it. No one could trace it. It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Council leaders tried to calm the public. They said it was a trick, a broadcast glitch. But they knew better. Only Earth had the technology to break through secure Council networks without leaving a trace. Only Earth could send a message to every system at once. The memory of those 6 words haunted everyone. Fear spread faster than facts. Some thought war was coming the next day. Others believed Earth would strike from the shadows again, but Earth did nothing. It stayed quiet. No follow-up message, no invasion, just silence. The Council sent envoys to the edge of human space. None were allowed entry. A few turned back. One ship disappeared. No signal, no distress call. Just gone. In military command centers, generals began drawing up defense plans. Anti-Earth coalitions were discussed, but trust among species was weak. Many races had once mocked humans. Now, they feared them. But fear did not make strong allies. A young officer in the Zalari Navy asked her captain, "Do you think humans will attack soon?" The captain looked out the viewport and answered, "If they wanted to attack, we'd already be dead." In a hidden facility under Earth's surface, deep below old mountain ranges, the Terran Command Council met. They had expected the message, to cause fear. But even they were surprised by how fast the galaxy reacted. Commander Isha Ravel, one of Earth's senior leaders, stood before a screen showing real-time feeds from Council space. "Look at them," she said, panicking. "They expected Earth to beg. Now they realize we don't need their protection. We are our own storm." Earth hadn't moved a single warship openly, but now they didn't have to. The galaxy was moving for them, out of fear, out of confusion. It was exactly what Earth wanted. In the shadows, the real preparations began. The Shadow Fleet, Earth's secret navy, started silent movement across the system. These ships had no public records, no visible weapons. They looked like ghosts, drifting in the blackness. But inside, they were deadly. Their systems were designed for stealth, speed, and destruction. At the same time, Earth's AI network began scanning galactic communication for keywords. Every time someone mentioned Earth, a signal was logged, locations were marked, allies and enemies were listed. It was quiet, invisible warfare. And Earth was winning it without firing a shot. Meanwhile, on a neutral planet named Sareth, a small group of alien traders received a private signal. One of them, an old friend of humanity, opened the message. It read, "You helped us before. We remember. Leave Sareth now." They didn't question it. Within hours, the planet was evacuated. 3 days later, an unknown force struck Sareth's main defense grid. A hidden weapons depot, one built secretly to arm an anti-human uprising, exploded before it could be used. No group claimed responsibility. But everyone knew who did it. Earth wasn't just sending warnings anymore. It was sending messages, through actions, quiet, sharp, and surgical. Still, no full war began, and that was the most terrifying part. The galaxy waited for explosions, for invasions, for battles. But Earth kept watching, moving pieces behind the scenes. Systems fell silent. Routes shifted. Human colonies sent encrypted reports, and then disappeared again from galactic maps. A famous war historian, Professor Nelvin of the Varnak Institute, wrote a report titled "The War That Hasn't Begun." In it, he warned, "We are not facing a traditional enemy. We are facing a mind that thinks in silence, a species that prepares before it strikes. When Earth moves, it will be the end of pretending." Council members read the report in secret. No one dared to share it publicly. Fear was already too high. But they all knew one thing. The last war hadn't started yet, and it wouldn't start with fleets or weapons. It would start with a decision made by Earth. And when that moment came, nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. The galaxy was holding its breath. After the event in the Renari sector, many believed war had already started. But Earth didn't launch a full attack. No fleets crossed borders. No planets were invaded. Instead, something much more dangerous began: silent strikes. In less than a month, 7 council facilities were hit. The first was a weapons lab on the moon of Threx 9. It vanished in the middle of the night. No explosions, no alarms. Satellites showed a brief energy pulse, and then nothing. When a scout ship arrived, there was only blackened ground. Every file was deleted, every weapon gone, no survivors. The second was a hidden listening post near the edge of the Zorai Nebula. It was meant to spy on human space, but the spy team never reported in. A backup drone found the station still intact, but floating without power. The crew inside were alive but unconscious. Medical scans showed no injuries, just silence. By the third hit, the Council couldn't deny it anymore. Earth wasn't attacking for territory. It was removing threats, one by one, quietly. The Council finally made a public announcement. They said the attacks were unknown sabotage, but their faces told the truth. The fear was visible in every word. They were being hunted not by armies, but by shadows. Some council members demanded retaliation, others begged for peace, but no one agreed on anything. The fear of Earth had grown so large, even speaking their name felt dangerous. On the trade, World of Kolvan, a group of merchants gathered to discuss rerouting supply lines. One of them, a veteran trader, stood and spoke. "You think you're safe because you don't sell weapons? Look around. Earth isn't coming with bombs, they're coming with silence, and by the time you notice them, they're already gone." Back on Earth, the Terran High Command continued its quiet campaign. They had no interest in massive wars. They didn't want to burn cities or conquer planets. Their mission was simple: neutralize threats before they could grow, and so Operation Silent Sky was approved. The operation had one purpose: strike down any council plan to build an anti-Earth alliance, not with speeches, not with battles, but with silence. On the planet Jarnus, a secret meeting between 10 council leaders was scheduled. They planned to build a joint fleet, a weapon that could match Earth's technology. But just hours before the meeting, all 10 members received the same message on their personal devices. It said only, "We know. Cancel it." 9 of them backed out. The 10th ignored the warning. That night, his ship exploded mid-flight. No proof, no suspects, just one less leader on the council. Fear now ruled everything. Recruitment for anti-Earth forces slowed. Supply lines broke. Council members stopped sharing information with each other. They no longer trusted anyone, not even their own allies. Meanwhile, Earth's influence was growing. Worlds that once avoided them now sent messages of respect or surrender. Small colonies asked for Earth's protection. Some even raised the old Terran flag, hoping to be left alone. On a distant farm planet, an old alien farmer told his grandson, "When I was young, they laughed at humans. Now, even the stars seem afraid to shine when Earth is near, but not everyone feared. Some wanted revenge. A group of exiled council military officers formed a secret unit called the Red Pact. Their goal, hit Earth back, hard. They found an old missile platform hidden in deep space, one capable of launching high-range attacks. They spent weeks planning. They launched the missile at Earth's outer colony, Trinova 3. It never arrived. 2 hours after launch, the platform was destroyed. No one saw the attacker. No one heard the approach. All that remained was a silent video feed, flashing with static, and a final image: a black Terran ship hovering above the ruins. Earth responded with one message: "We warned you." That was the final blow to the Red Pact. They scattered. Some vanished. Others surrendered. By now, even council citizens began to question their leaders. Why did we push Earth? Why didn't we listen? Were they really the enemy? And slowly, very slowly, the balance of power shifted. Not through war, not through speeches, but through fear, through silence, through invisible strength. In a hidden chamber below Earth's oldest city, Admiral Reen watched reports roll in. Her officers stood in silence as she spoke. They thought we needed armies. They thought they could measure us. But Earth is not a number. Earth is a warning. A young officer whispered, "When do we stop, ma'am?" Reen looked at him. Her voice was calm. "When they remember that we were never the enemy, only the answer." And across the stars, the fire continued to spread, quiet, controlled, and unstoppable. The war hadn't officially begun, But the galaxy was already burning, and Earth hadn't even raised its voice. The galaxy could feel it. The tension. The weight. It was everywhere. In the silence between council meetings, in the sudden drop of trade routes, in the way entire planets stopped sending messages out of fear they might say the wrong thing. The war hadn't officially started, but everyone knew it was coming. And then one day, everything changed. It started on the planet Neuraxis, a council stronghold near human territory. For years, it had been the home of military research, especially focused on anti-human technology. Earth had ignored it until now. A spy drone, no larger than a fruit, slipped through the Neuraxis atmosphere. No alarms went off. No guards noticed. The drone recorded everything. New weapon blueprints, ship designs, and even a secret vote to build a weapon powerful enough to destroy entire human colonies. When that information reached Earth, Terran Command didn't hesitate. The order was given, not to destroy Neuraxis, not to kill the researchers, but to erase the project. In the dead of night, 3 ships from Earth's Shadow Fleet entered Neuraxis space, cloaked, silent, invisible to most sensors. They moved like ghosts, slipping past satellites, defense grids, and patrol ships. Then, at exactly 02 water local time, the main research center went dark. No explosions, no fire, just silence. When the sun rose, the building still stood, but empty. Every file was gone, every system wiped. The researchers were found unharmed, asleep in their beds with no memory of what had happened. The Council called it a data breach. The galaxy called it a message. Earth could strike anywhere, anytime, without blood, without sound. And that was the tipping point. Some Council members panicked. They voted to launch a preventive strike on Earth. But not everyone agreed. A few refused to vote. Others walked out. One of them, a seasoned diplomat from the Uvanti species, said aloud, "We wanted Earth to bow. Now we beg it not to rise." Still, a fleet was gathered. A grand one, the largest in recent Council history, over 200 ships. It was meant to scare Earth, to force negotiations by strength. But even before it moved, Earth already knew. 3 hours before the launch, every commander of that fleet received a personal message on their secure terminals. "Do not do this. We are watching." Some dismissed it as a trick. Others turned off their ships and left. Only 83 ships remained when the fleet launched toward Earth's border. Earth didn't meet them with guns. It met them with silence. And that's what terrified the fleet more than anything else. As they approached human space, strange things began to happen. Ships reported sensor malfunctions. Weapons failed to lock on. Navigation systems redirected them, backwards. One commander shouted over comms, "We are under attack!" But there was no enemy in sight. One by one, ships started turning around, not because of damage, but because their crews refused to go further. They were afraid of what they couldn't see. In the end, only 12 ships made it to the edge of Earth's protected zone. There, a single human ship waited, a small one. Not a warship, not a carrier, just a sleek dark vessel with no weapons visible. It sent a simple transmission. Turn back or disappear. The 12 ships hesitated. Some were ready to fight, but then their screens lit up, showing video from Neuraxis, the wiped labs, the vanished data, the untouched buildings, and the clear message: Earth didn't need to destroy. It only needed to choose. 8 ships turned back. The final 4 stayed. 3 minutes later, all 4 were gone. No explosion, no fire, just silence. After that, the rest of the galaxy paused. No more fleets moved. No more speeches were made. And Earth? Earth still hadn't sent a declaration of war because it didn't need to. In a quiet chamber beneath the Earth's Arctic command post, Commander Arjun reviewed the footage. He leaned back in his chair and said, "They still think this is about war, but war is loud. What we're doing is control." Admiral Reen nodded. They created this war the day they underestimated us. Now they fear the sound of silence, more than the sound of gunfire. On distant worlds, resistance collapsed without a fight. Leaders resigned. Fleets were grounded. Whispers spread. "You can't fight Earth. You can't even see them coming." Some began to ask for peace, but not on their terms, on Earth's. That was the real tipping point. The moment when the galaxy stopped planning how to fight Earth and began asking how to survive it. The last war hadn't fully started yet, but now it wasn't just possible. It was inevitable. The galaxy was quiet, but not peaceful. There were no battles in the skies, no explosions, no screams. Yet everyone knew this was war. A war of fear, silence, and power. And at the center of it stood Earth, not begging for peace, not shouting for war, just standing. And that was enough to shake entire civilizations. In the council hall, silence ruled the room. Delegates from hundreds of species sat stiffly in their seats. No one dared raise their voice. No more loud speeches against humanity, no more threats. The last few who spoke like that had already vanished from public view, some resigned, some missing. Everyone understood the message. The council called a vote, a final attempt to show strength, a proposal to cut all communications with Earth. Total isolation. But before they could cast the first vote, the lights flickered, and then the main screen came to life. It wasn't council programming. It was a live feed. From Earth, Admiral Reen appeared, calm and firm. She didn't speak like a conqueror. She spoke like a leader who had waited long enough. You feared what we could become, so you pushed, again and again. You wanted to control us, weaken us, erase us. But you failed, because you didn't understand one thing. We were never alone. We were watching, listening, learning. And now, we've had enough. Delegates stared in shock. How had Earth broken through their secure systems? But no one moved to stop it. No one had the courage. "We are not here to destroy," Reen continued. "But we are done waiting. From this moment forward, Earth will not bow. We will not ask. We will act." Then the screen went black. No threats, no demands, just truth. The message spread across the galaxy in seconds, and the response came just as fast. The Onari Republic was first. Once a close ally of the Council, they declared neutrality. Then they sent a quiet message to Earth. "We are ready to listen." Then came the Drevi clans. Known for their warriors, they recalled their ships from Council space. "Let the old, powers fall," their chief said. "Earth is the storm they created." Even within the Council, some began defecting. Files leaked, hidden votes revealed. Truths the galaxy was never meant to see came to light. Proof of Council plots against Earth, secret plans to enslave human colonies, betrayals during the early contact years. The people had enough. Protests started on dozens of Council worlds. Not against Earth, but against the Council itself. And Earth? Earth still didn't fire a single weapon. They didn't need to. The power had already shifted. On Earth, Terran High Command held its final emergency meeting, not for war, but for what came next. Commander Arjun spoke first. "They've broken themselves. We didn't destroy their unity, they did." Admiral Reen nodded slowly. "Now they know. Humanity is not the threat. We're the answer to a broken system." Across the stars, something incredible happened. Planets that once rejected Earth began asking for alliances. Scientists wanted to share research. Leaders wanted joint defense agreements. Even civilians sent messages, some in fear, others in respect, many in hope. On the desert world of Vexa 4, a young alien girl wrote on her school wall, "When darkness came, Earth didn't shout. It simply stood, and the galaxy listened." But not everyone accepted Earth's rise. A small group of extremists from the old council tried one last move. A massive AI-controlled fleet, hidden for years, was launched toward Earth's moon. But this time, Earth was not silent. As the fleet entered Terran space, it was met by something new, a formation of 17 Terran vessels, each sleek, black, and silent. They didn't fire, they just flew forward. Then, the enemy fleet shut down one by one, no explosions, no fights, just absolute surrender. Earth had hacked their systems mid-flight. It was the final message. Earth didn't just win. They ended the war before it truly began. After that, the council crumbled. One by one, its members stepped down. A new alliance was proposed, not built on fear or control, but on balance. They called it the Unified Accord, and the first seat was offered to Earth. The galaxy had changed forever. Humans, once seen as primitive, unpredictable, dangerous, were now the center of something new, not because they wanted it, but because the galaxy realized they needed it. In the end, the last war never needed guns, because Earth stood strong when it mattered most, not with violence, not with speeches, but with silence, with precision, with courage, and the stars would never forget the moment Earth took a stand, and the galaxy bowed.